Yeah, hate crimes and intolerance, including anti-Semitism, affect society in general. They undermine the democratic values in society. So it is important that we don't stand on the side and allow this to happen. And ODIHR has a very strong role to play there, bringing together civil society organizations in an open and frank dialogue which is non-discriminatory.
More often than not, anti-Semitism is viewed as a problem to be solved by the Jewish communities. But to be able to have a lasting effect, joint commitment needs to be formed between the government and civil society as a whole. The Words into Action project has organized a series of events for activists in the topics of youth, gender and intersectionality, and hate crime.
At its most basic, coalition building is about doing together that which cannot be done alone.
These events explore the ways of bringing different activist groups closer to each other in order to create networks and coalitions that can push the joint agendas of human rights, gender equality, tolerance, and non-discrimination.
We want to gather broad and diverse coalitions working to end anti-Semitism and discrimination and to ensure that civil society see this issue as a shared struggle.
We are hoping that this project will, in a way, establish a new way of speaking about discrimination, understanding discrimination, and fighting against intolerance and discrimination.
There's so much that governments and law enforcement can do, but they cannot do everything. So in certain countries and in certain areas, the only voice that is heard is civil society's voices and not government voices.
Once we understand the dynamics of anti-Semitism and once we understand who becomes an anti-Semit and why, I think it is easier to also address other forms of hatred. And in order to address other forms of hatred, you need the partners to do it.
Let's make just not of a logistical effort, just come up front, read them out fastly.
In order to justify our own human rights efforts, we have to tackle anti-Semitism from a human rights perspective.
I'll speak for anti-Semitism and for anti-Gypsyism and for Afrophobia as much as I feel that I should speak for Islamophobia.
We're talking about how governance and civic societies can work together to effectively work in politics.
We cannot leave everything for the academic institutions, like schools or universities.
We'd love to have a toolbox for sharing of best practices.
In close consultation with long-standing civil society partners, ODIHR has developed a practical guide that sets out, step by step, how to create a coalition to promote tolerance. This guide seeks to support communities in identifying common concerns and interests and facilitate coalition building around the issues that promote tolerance. The guide supports both those civil society actors that have been active in coalitions for a long time as those that are seeking to create new ones.
We are not simply having a meeting for the meeting's sake. We are actually having deep discussions that are sometimes also challenging and difficult for the participants, but they help us move forward. And therefore, learning from experience of Jewish communities is very valuable in this regard.
If you start on a grassroots level, building up small pockets of resistance, if you want to say so, you can basically work as a vaccine.
Hatred left unchecked can spread and infect even more. But when you have a core of someone, a group like this, that wants to fight this anti-Semitism, that wants to fight this intolerance, that can also spread.